My beloved brothers and sisters, when people hurt us, our natural reaction is often confusion, sadness, anger, or disappointment. We begin to question why someone we trusted could betray us, why someone we cared about could speak against us, or why those who know us best could become the source of our pain. These moments can feel extremely heavy because emotional wounds are often deeper than physical ones. A broken bone may heal within weeks, but a broken heart can carry scars for years. Yet as believers, we are taught that every difficulty carries within it an opportunity to draw closer to Allah. The people who hurt you may never understand the depth of the pain they caused. They may move on with their lives while you are left struggling with sleepless nights, anxiety, and unanswered questions. You may replay conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. You may search for explanations that never come. But there comes a moment when a believer realizes that not every question will be answered by people. Some answers are found only through a stronger relationship with Allah. Many of us become closest to Allah during our most difficult moments. When life is comfortable, we sometimes forget to turn to Him as often as we should. But when our hearts are shattered, we find ourselves raising our hands in sincere dua. We wake up in the quiet hours of the night seeking comfort from Allah. We recite the Quran looking for peace. We remember Allah more frequently because we recognize that He is the only one who truly understands our pain. A person may abandon you, but Allah never abandons you. A person may misunderstand you, but Allah knows your intentions. A person may judge you unfairly, but Allah knows the truth about you. This realization changes everything. Instead of allowing the pain to push you away from faith, you allow it to bring you closer to your Creator. The very trial that seemed like a punishment becomes a means of spiritual growth and purification. Every prophet faced hurt from people. They were mocked, rejected, insulted, and opposed by those around them. Yet these experiences strengthened their reliance upon Allah. The difficulties they endured elevated their status and increased their closeness to their Lord. When believers face hardship, they are walking a path that many righteous people walked before them. Pain is not always a sign that Allah is angry with you. Sometimes it is a sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater. When someone hurts you, it becomes easy to focus entirely on the person responsible. You think about what they said, what they did, and how unfair their actions were. But faith teaches us to shift our focus. Instead of becoming obsessed with the person who caused the wound, we become connected to the one who can heal it. Human beings may disappoint us repeatedly because they are imperfect. Allah never disappoints those who sincerely turn to Him. There are blessings hidden within pain that cannot be found elsewhere. Hardship teaches patience. Betrayal teaches wisdom. Rejection teaches dependence upon Allah rather than people. Loss teaches gratitude for what remains. Through every painful experience, Allah develops qualities within us that comfort and ease could never produce. What feels like a setback today may become the reason for your greatest spiritual transformation tomorrow. The tears you shed in sincere prayer, the du'as whispered in moments of loneliness, and the trust you place in Allah during hardship all become steps on a journey that brings your heart closer to its true source of peace. One of the most painful experiences a person can face is being wronged while others fail to see the truth. You may find yourself in a situation where someone spreads false information about you, questions your character, or treats you unfairly, and those around you accept their version of events without ever hearing yours. This can create a deep sense of loneliness because human beings naturally desire to be understood. When people misunderstand us or judge us unfairly, it can feel as though our voice has been taken away. Yet in these moments, a believer finds comfort in knowing that Allah sees everything that others cannot see. People only witness a small part of the story. They see actions but often miss intentions. They hear words but do not know what is hidden within hearts. They make judgments based on limited knowledge and incomplete information. Allah, however, possesses complete and perfect knowledge. He knows every thought that crosses your mind, every struggle you hide behind a smile, every tear that falls when no one is watching, and every injustice that has been committed against you. Nothing escapes His sight, and nothing is forgotten. There are times when people may believe lies about you simply because those lies are repeated often enough. You may feel helpless as your reputation is damaged or your character is questioned. You may want to defend yourself at every opportunity and prove your innocence to everyone around you. While there is nothing wrong with clarifying the truth when appropriate, there comes a point when you realize that not everyone will understand your side of the story. Some people have already made up their minds. Others are influenced by emotions, assumptions, or personal biases. Chasing the approval of every person becomes exhausting and emotionally draining. The believer learns that the most important judgment is not the judgment of people, but the judgment of Allah. Human opinions change constantly. A person may praise you today and criticize you tomorrow. A crowd may support you one moment and abandon you the next. If your peace depends on what people think about you, your peace will always be unstable. But when your confidence comes from knowing that Allah knows the truth, you gain a source of strength that cannot be shaken by public opinion. Allah sees every act of kindness that others overlook. He sees the sacrifices you make for your family. He sees the good intentions behind your efforts. He sees the times you remained silent to avoid conflict. He sees the moments when you chose patience instead of anger and forgiveness instead of revenge, even when nobody appreciates your struggles. Allah records every single one of them with perfect accuracy. Sometimes people who hurt others appear to escape accountability. They may continue living comfortably while their victims suffer. This can be difficult to understand because we naturally want justice to happen immediately. However, Allah's knowledge extends beyond what we can see. He knows what is happening behind closed doors. He knows the consequences that await every action. He knows whether a person will repent or persist in wrongdoing. What appears hidden from human eyes is completely exposed before Allah. There is tremendous peace in knowing that you do not need to carry the burden of proving yourself to everyone. You do not need to spend your life chasing validation from people who refuse to understand you. Your responsibility is to remain sincere. Maintain your integrity and continue striving to please Allah. The one who created you knows your reality better than anyone else ever could. Every injustice is witnessed. Every truth is known. Every false accusation is recorded. And every hidden pain is seen by the Lord of the heavens and the earth, whose knowledge encompasses everything without exception. When someone hurts you, one of the strongest emotions that can arise is the desire for revenge. You want the person to feel the same pain they caused you. You may replay the situation in your mind, imagining what you could say or do to make them suffer as you suffered. This reaction is part of human nature. Being betrayed, insulted, humiliated, or treated unfairly creates wounds that make us long for justice. Yet there is a significant difference between seeking justice and becoming consumed by revenge. Islam teaches believers to rise above the emotions that can trap the heart in an endless cycle of anger and bitterness. Many people believe that revenge will bring them peace. They think that once they expose the person who wronged them, embarrass them publicly, or make them experience similar pain, they will finally feel satisfied. However, reality often proves otherwise. Revenge may create a brief feeling of satisfaction, but it rarely heals the heart. Instead, it keeps the painful event alive in your thoughts. The person who hurt you continues to occupy your mind because your focus remains fixed on them. Rather than moving forward, you become emotionally tied to the very pain you are trying to escape. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy burden every day. It drains your energy, affects your relationships, and steals your peace. Some people spend years replaying old wounds, allowing past experiences to control their present happiness. The person who caused the harm may have moved on long ago, yet the victim remains trapped by resentment. This is one of the hidden dangers of refusing to let go. The wound becomes part of your identity, and bitterness slowly takes root in the heart. Islam encourages believers to seek a higher path. Forgiveness does not mean pretending that nothing happened. It does not mean denying the pain or allowing others to continue harming you. It does not mean that wrongdoing becomes acceptable. Rather, forgiveness means refusing to allow hatred to control your heart. It means choosing peace over endless conflict. It means trusting Allah to deal with what you cannot control while you focus on healing and growing. One of the greatest acts of strength is controlling yourself when you have every reason to react. Anyone can lash out in anger. Anyone can respond to insults with more insults. Anyone can repay cruelty with cruelty. True strength is demonstrated when a person restrains their emotions for the sake of Allah. This requires patience, wisdom and faith. It is not easy, especially when the pain is deep, but the reward with Allah is immense. When you leave the matter to Allah, you free yourself from a responsibility that was never yours to carry. You are not responsible for punishing every person who wrongs you. You are not responsible for balancing every injustice in the world. Allah is the most just, and He sees everything that has occurred. Trusting His justice allows your heart to rest. Instead of constantly planning how to respond, you focus on improving yourself, strengthening your faith, and protecting your inner peace. Forgiveness also protects you from becoming like the person who hurt you. Sometimes people are so focused on retaliation that they begin adopting the same negative behaviors they once condemned. Anger can cloud judgment and push people toward actions they later regret. By choosing forgiveness, you maintain your character and preserve the values that matter most. You refuse to let another person's wrongdoing determine who you become. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ showed extraordinary mercy even toward those who opposed and harmed him. His example teaches that forgiveness is not weakness, but a reflection of strong faith and noble character. A heart filled with trust in Allah does not need revenge to feel complete. It understands that true peace comes from releasing hatred, placing trust in divine justice, and moving forward without allowing the mistakes of others to dominate the future. One of the greatest challenges believers face after being hurt by others is waiting for justice. When someone has wronged you, spoken against you, betrayed your trust, or caused you pain, it is natural to want immediate answers and immediate consequences. You may find yourself asking why the person who hurt you seems happy while you are struggling. You may wonder why Allah has not intervened yet, or why the situation appears unchanged despite your sincere prayers. These questions often arise because human beings naturally focus on what they can see in the present, while Allah's wisdom encompasses the past, present and future. All at once, waiting is difficult because pain makes us impatient. When we are suffering, every day can feel longer than usual. We want relief, closure and justice as quickly as possible. Yet Allah repeatedly teaches us through the Quran and through life's experiences that His timing is perfect. What appears delayed from our perspective is never delayed from His. Allah knows the exact moment when every event should unfold. He knows when hearts are ready, when lessons have been learned, and when outcomes will bring the greatest benefit. Many times, people assume that if justice has not arrived immediately, it is not coming at all. This assumption can lead to frustration and disappointment. However, the history of the prophets shows that divine justice often unfolds gradually. There were periods when the righteous appeared weak and oppressed, while those who opposed them seemed powerful and successful. Yet eventually, Allah's promise was fulfilled. The truth became clear, and justice prevailed in a way that reflected His wisdom and mercy. Sometimes Allah delays justice because He is giving people an opportunity to repent. A person who wronged you may still have a chance to recognize their mistakes and return to the right path. Allah's mercy is vast, and He gives people opportunities that human beings often would not. What seems like a delay may actually be an act of mercy towards someone who still has the chance to change. Allah does not rush because He possesses complete knowledge of every heart and every future possibility. At other times, the delay is not for the benefit of the wrongdoer, but for the benefit of the one who was hurt. Through waiting, believers develop patience, trust, resilience, and dependence upon Allah. These qualities are among the most valuable treasures a person can possess. Had justice arrived immediately, some of these spiritual lessons might never have been learned. The trial itself becomes a means of purification and growth, shaping the believer into a stronger and more faithful servant of Allah. There are situations where justice arrives in ways we never expected. We may spend months focusing on one desired outcome, believing it is the only way things can be made right. Yet Allah may have something far greater planned. A closed door may lead to a better opportunity. A painful betrayal may protect you from future harm. A rejection may redirect your life toward blessings you could not yet see. Looking back years later, many people realize that what they once viewed as a painful delay was actually divine protection and guidance. Trusting Allah's timing requires faith because it asks us to believe in wisdom that we cannot always understand. It means continuing to pray even when answers seem distant. It means remaining patient even when emotions are strong. It means refusing to let temporary circumstances weaken your trust in Allah's plan. The believer understands that Allah never forgets, never overlooks, and never makes mistakes. Every prayer is heard, every tear is seen, and every act of patience is recorded. When justice does not arrive according to your schedule, it does not mean Allah has abandoned your case. It simply means that the one who controls all affairs is working according to a plan that is far more comprehensive than anything human minds can fully comprehend. The passing of time does not reduce Allah's awareness of what happened to you, nor does it diminish His ability to bring about the perfect outcome at the perfect moment. Patience in these moments becomes an act of worship, and trust becomes a source of strength that carries the believer through even the most difficult periods of waiting. Patience is one of the most beautiful and powerful qualities a believer can possess, yet it is often misunderstood. Many people think patience means doing nothing, remaining silent in every situation, or simply accepting pain without emotion. In reality, patience is much deeper than that. Patience is the ability to remain firm in faith when life becomes difficult. It is the decision to trust Allah when circumstances do not make sense. It is choosing wisdom over impulsive reactions and maintaining hope when everything around you seems to encourage despair. When people hurt you, patience becomes one of the greatest tests of your character. The pain may tempt you to respond with anger, revenge, harsh words, or actions you would normally avoid. In those moments, patience requires strength. It requires you to pause, reflect, and remember that Allah is watching. The believer understands that every challenge presents an opportunity to earn reward from Allah. The harder the test, the greater the potential reward for those who endure it with sincerity and trust. Many people assume that their suffering is meaningless because they cannot immediately see any positive outcome. They focus on the pain they feel today and forget that Allah rewards far beyond what human beings can imagine. Every moment of patience is known to Allah. Every tear shed in private, every prayer whispered in the darkness of the night, every act of self-control when anger threatens to take over is recorded by the one who misses nothing. Even when nobody else recognizes your struggle, Allah sees it completely. There are times when patience feels exhausting. You may have been hurt repeatedly. You may feel as though you have carried the burden for too long. You may wonder how much longer you are expected to endure. These feelings are natural because patience does not remove pain. The prophets themselves experienced sadness, disappointment, and hardship. What made them remarkable was not the absence of pain, but their refusal to allow pain to weaken their trust in Allah. They continued moving forward, believing that Allah's wisdom was greater than their understanding. One of the greatest comforts for a believer is knowing that no hardship is wasted. In this world, people often work hard without receiving recognition. They make sacrifices that go unnoticed and endure struggles that nobody understands. But with Allah, nothing is ever lost. Every moment of patience has value. Every difficulty endured for His sake carries reward. Even the smallest act of perseverance is preserved in a way that human beings cannot fully comprehend. Patience also transforms a person's character. Difficult experiences often reveal strengths that would otherwise remain hidden. Through hardship, believers learn humility, compassion, resilience, and dependence upon Allah. They discover that their true source of strength does not come from people, wealth, or status, but from their relationship with their Creator. Trials teach lessons that comfort and ease rarely provide. The very experiences that seem painful today may become the foundation of wisdom and spiritual growth tomorrow. When people hurt you, it can feel as though they have taken something valuable from you. Perhaps they damaged your reputation, broke your trust, or caused emotional wounds that take time to heal. Patience reminds you that your true worth was never determined by other people. Your value comes from Allah. No person's actions can take away the rewards that Allah has prepared for those who remain steadfast. In fact, the injustice you experience may become a source of immense blessings if it leads you closer to Him. The believer does not view patience as passive surrender, but as active faith. It is a daily choice to continue trusting Allah despite uncertainty. It is choosing gratitude despite hardship and hope despite disappointment. It is believing that Allah's promises are true even when the results are not yet visible. Every day that you remain patient is another day that your reward grows. Every struggle endured for the sake of Allah becomes part of a record that will one day be presented before Him. What feels heavy now may eventually be revealed as one of the greatest sources of mercy, reward and elevation in your entire life. Proving that sincere patience was never wasted for even a single moment. One of the greatest sources of comfort for a believer is the certainty that Allah's justice is perfect and unavoidable. In this world, people often witness situations that appear unfair. Good people sometimes suffer while those who cause harm seem to prosper. Honest individuals may be treated unjustly while those who lie, deceive or oppress others appear to escape accountability. These realities can be difficult to understand, especially when we are personally affected by injustice. Yet faith teaches us that what we see today is only a small part of a much larger picture. Allah's justice is not limited by time, circumstances or human understanding. Many people become discouraged because they expect justice to happen immediately. They want to see consequences unfold before their eyes. They want proof that wrongdoing has not gone unnoticed. When this does not happen right away, they may begin to question whether justice will ever come. However, Allah's justice does not depend on human schedules. He is not rushed by the impatience of people, nor is He limited by the passage of time. He knows exactly when and how every matter will be resolved. A person may successfully hide their actions from family, friends, colleagues, or society. They may manipulate situations to protect their image and convince others of their innocence. They may build a reputation that appears honorable while concealing harmful behavior behind closed doors. Human beings can be deceived because their knowledge is limited. Allah, however, cannot be deceived. He sees what is hidden as clearly as what is visible. Every action, every word, every intention, and every secret is known to Him completely. This understanding provides immense peace to those who have been wronged. It reminds them that they do not need to spend their lives proving the truth to everyone around them. They do not need to become consumed by the desire to expose every wrongdoing or force every person to acknowledge their pain. Allah already knows the truth. The one whose judgment matters most has witnessed every detail. There is no forgotten injustice, no overlooked betrayal, and no hidden act of oppression in the sight of Allah. Sometimes divine justice becomes visible in this life. People who harm others may eventually face consequences through circumstances they never expected. Their actions may return to them in ways that reveal Allah's wisdom and power. However, believers understand that the greatest form of justice is not necessarily what occurs in this world. The temporary nature of worldly life means that some matters may remain unresolved until the hereafter. On that day, every person will stand before Allah with nothing hidden and nothing forgotten. The day of judgment is a powerful reminder that ultimate justice belongs to Allah alone. Human courts can make mistakes. Witnesses can lie. Evidence can be lost. Powerful individuals can influence outcomes. But before Allah, none of these limitations exist. Every fact will be known with complete accuracy. Every victim will receive justice. Every wrongdoer will be held accountable. Every good deed and every harmful act will be measured with perfect fairness. This certainty allows believers to remain patient